Lulu and Rise in both of their first 2 games. Last game, the only ban that deviated was a Nunu ban over a Lee Sin ban.
Right.
And Alistair was also banned. If anyone is just joining us now, after seeing how crazy people were going on Twitter, there is a red side every single game for Dignitas.
Yep.
So the picks and bans, at least ban-wise, should remain fairly similar.
And we're pretty much seeing what has been banned is also the things that are being picked when they're left up as well. Same thing with the Nunu when that was left up. That went to Crumbs, and now Lee Sin gets banned out. That was taken by Amazing last game. So these players definitely hitting each other up with some targets. Like you said, that Lee Sin as well. The Nidalee going out shuts down Zion Spartan's split push as well. That and the Nunu on Crumbs, which has been huge, and 2 of their compositions coming out. Weren't exactly wins that they were able to put under their belt. Remember, that was only 2 in the last 12, so they've really tried to, as we say, right the ship here.
Lulu is left through.
Right, so far.
We'll get to see if that has been a well-spent ban or not, if Dig decides to even play it. Because there's a lot of stuff that they have the option of playing. Their Nasus is basically what won them game 1. It wasn't banned, the matchup didn't change, and he still chose to go different.
Maokai 3 in a row? No. The Nunu, something that Amazing has been putting into his champion pool, gets taken immediately. A bit of a smirk there from Amazing as well. He's feeling good.
All this Nunu practice. Could it be a new jungler that Amazing has learned in these 3 weeks? We're really going to have to see. Or is this somehow like a sneaky little top lane pick we don't know about?
Please, no.
Probably Amazing.
So as for days. So with Dyrus getting that means Zion Spartan may try to go for that top-tier top lane pick himself. He's been able to control the game on what champions he's had in that top lane for the time being and then be a menace towards the mid-late game. But it looks like they may give Kiwi Kids a priority here and not really show too much, but the ability to get some safe or aggressive initiations. Safe disengage or aggressive initiations, I meant to say.
Okay.
So it's not Morgan.
It would have been strange for them to pick Morgana this early, you know? Just because it has been completely ignored by both of these teams in the first few matches. The Maokai, it makes sense that Zion ends up taking it. It's what TSM has been using their first pick on. Zion as a Maokai doesn't seem like the scariest thing ever, and what's really surprising here is the fact that Lulu was banned by TSM so much. Yet now it's just going to fall into the hands of Dyrus, who has played many Lulu top games. Which actually isn't that bad for TSM. So as far as their bans changing up to be Ziggs, that's pretty great. At this point, if TSM still picks Syndra, I really wonder what Shifter's mid lane pick is going to be with the last one in Champ Select.
Difficult. I mean, he'll have an Orianna. It gives him somewhat of an initiation shield for Crumbs.
Sorry, I just thought of Yasuo comp.
Oh, yeah.
Might actually come in.
He got 1 knock-up already.
Even though they have to do it into somewhat of a counter pick. But at this point, Rise is often what people pick into Yasuo, and that's banned away. So there is a certain amount of safety that TSM would have if they decide to mid lane that.
Yasuo hasn't even been looked at in these past 2 games here.
No.
Compositions have not called for it. Cutie Pie goes for the Lucian this game. He was getting a little bit of Wild Turtle Lucian last time, and they'll take that for themselves.
Wow.
Interesting
Even with
picks.
Kog'Maw up. So priorities are changing pretty drastically here. Braum.
There's a lane win if I ever saw one.
Interestingly enough, TSM banned Braum pretty much more than any other champion. They had 11 Braum bans during the regular season. It's a support that Glebe didn't play and Lustboy hasn't played, so they've been banning it out frequently.
Seen a few fizzes. High brought it out during the regular season. We'll see if it can be brought out here. Wild Turtle's going to be putting out the Tristana. It's gotten a lot of attention lately, but not here in this quarterfinals, that's for sure.
Yeah, like we said earlier, it's the only 80 carry Wild Turtle holds a losing record on.
Right.
1-3 in the regular season.
Ooh.
Orianna is very safe, first and foremost. It would give them a lot of move speed.
Shields.
That entire team would be about protecting Wild Turtle. They're really discussing this hard, though. Do they go early game? Do they go late game? What kind of safety do they want? That's shields for Trist. That is a Trist hypercarry composition through and through.
I definitely do enjoy the Orianna compositions or non-Zillion compositions more. The only time Alliance picked Zillion is the game they lost versus Fnatic. So see the power and the late game coming out. No rewinds here. It's all going to be the clockwork wind up.
And all eyes are on Shifter here.
Yeah,
Dignitas opted to go red side every time during picks and bans. Pretty much so they could always get Shifter with that last pick. Aha! That's what we talked about.
There you go, Kobe.
There's the Ahri against an Orianna this time. So the Syndra was not there, therefore he can break out the Ahri. It used to be his favorite champion.
Man.
Like they said, he's not always been that super safe guy who just farms all day. He is a fantastic assassin player.
Yep.
And with the small buffs to Ahri, he can break it out again.
If he can get that to 6 quick, you definitely can run around an Orianna. A ball missed means a dead Orianna. So that's a tough matchup if he gets any help from Crumbs early and Amazing's not there. Very awesome compositions here.
At the same time, it's real scary picking an Orianna into a team with so many shields. Going to assassinate a guy that just dump all the shields on him.
Yeah.
And then they come right back at you. This will be another interesting game just based on the picks and bans.
It's all about the fights where who thinks they have the bigger lead. I love these fights because then you kind of quickly find out I didn't have the bigger lead, and you really get to see how these teams can pull a composition back together in a tight time. Now that you've seen the team comps as we have, it's a good time to check and tweet hashtag TSM win or hashtag dig win at LOL Esports. Remember, we'll be checking it back to see if the fan vote has shifted shortly throughout the game.
Yeah, we have plenty of game time as well. So far in the first 2 games, it's been over 2 hours of in-game time, just with how close these things are.
Been a while. I'm going to get myself ready for this one.
The team that has been up on kills has actually lost both games. First game was 15 kills to 6 for TSM over Dig. Last game, Dig had something like 3 more kills than TSM. I think it was 19 to 16, if memory serves.
So what you're saying is you walk up to the front door like you have nothing, and you just punch him in the kisser.
Punch it down.
Right in the kisser.
Just hit the building.
Let's see if either team can do it here. We have had Dig going for somewhat of an early lane swap both times with the composition that they brought out. We'll see if they do it again. They're on red side because they have chosen to do so every game.
Just for full clarity, TSM picked blue side games 1, 3, and 5. The higher seed gets choice.
Right.
For every first, third, and 5th game. The lower seed gets choice in the 2nd and 4th game. But it so happened TSM wanted blue, Dignitas wanted red.
Makes things easy.
5 in a row.
Yeah. You don't have to quarrel. You don't have to yell at each other. You just get what you want.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
You won't like him when he's angry. So let's see what kind of coverage they put up in the beginning here. Usually it's Zion Spartan walking through with the first 3, and they get their ward down. Just very textbook here for Dignitas in the other game.
And it's really easy to lose track of what's happened in the early game with these spectacular finishes. But we've seen lane swaps in both of our previous games, which is a little bit curious considering Wild Turtle and Lustboy, or especially Wild Turtle, was actually some of the weakest CSing at 10 as far as lane pressure in all of the LCS. Yet Dignitas is swapping at a disadvantage just to avoid them. So either Dignitas really prioritizes QtPie having a safe farming phase, or Wild Turtle and Lustboy have gotten much better in the 3 weeks off since they've become together.
A lot of their lanes have been opened up here, and you see Turtle and Lustboy pushing into that turret each time. So they try to get them fed, get them some money early, get these objectives under their belt. Not working out in that aspect. Amazing was able to help in the first game with some kills. And then Lustboy got himself a few in the bottom lane with some good ganks. But
doing it again.
Focusing on Wild Turtle after that. Good wards all the way down to the bottom side here from Dignitas. You can see a trail of 3 just curving right to that bottom lane. Go ahead and get the lane swap in, as usual.
Yeah, 3 games in a row. This has been the open. Now, the only thing that changed, if we just disregard the champion picks between Game 1 and Game 2, is Dignitas sent their top laner and support to the bottom lane to farm there instead of sticking with the double jungle. So about at this moment, we saw Kiwi Kid and Zion go to that lane to try and pick up farm. But this time they're sticking with the double jungle again, much like in Game 2.
Yeah, Zion got there a little too early last time. Got himself taken out right quick before Kiwi Kid could make the haul. This time, as you say, they're playing it safe. Looks like they're going to give Crumbs most of the camps, as usual, but spread the damage across each other. Shifter hits 2 first, but he's not able to act on it in any way.
Teams have to be very careful not to fall into a predictable pattern, knowing that it's still going to be a best of 5, and knowing that they're on the same side of the map every time. And this early game has been so risk-free, it's very easy to just think they can do it again. Maybe in the next game, if they try something similar, I would expect a trap to be laid.
So we get an instant back from Kiwi Kid here at level 2. He just hit it. He hardly soaked up any extra experience. So now he heads down to the bottom lane again. You were just talking about this with Zion. And then it kind of slows things down for Wild Turtle and Lustboy.
They're helping him out this time. So it's kind of a hybrid of games 1 and 2 as far as Dignitas' choice here. A Nami Lulu lane is actually pretty formidable. It's like a double range lane with a lot of slows and good auto attacks. So that will not be an easy farming experience for QuarterFinals.
Fierce ladies in that lane. 4.8 to 4.5 with a bit of the CS lead that's been grabbed here. And as they mill about their lanes, Wild Turtle not having any trouble. Zion Spartan just getting to lane. I believe he went and got a little help in the jungle.
Yeah, the instant TSM saw Braum down there, though, they knew what the game was.
Yep.
They're not going to try another dive because it's going to be back up. And they're kind of back to their game 1 strategy.
So now Dyrus actually could get the pink ward in coverage here. Lustboy brings to the lane. Very nice for him. Lustboy still picking up gold on his roam with that Spell-Thief's Edge, so he will not be too far off of the rest of the team. Level 3 even before Dyrus as well in that lane. So slow farming. Both teams, now that they've read each other, seen each other for 2 games, things I believe will be a little bit slower here in the early part. We're seeing this kind of pan out as we did in the last 2. The teams were already trying to go aggressive at this point. We saw Amazing in the bottom lane trying to get a kill onto QuarterFinals, and it worked.
And no early drag in this game, most likely as well. A lot of backs early on by Lustboy. That's like the 3rd time he's been back to base in the last 4 minutes. He's wanting to keep pace with these lane swaps. He would rather leave Lulu 1v1 against Lucian than leave Tristana 1v2, and that's actually very critical. Dignitas needs to try and outnumber Wild Turtle as much as possible this game. Because even though there will be damage coming from Orianna and Lulu, this is a composition built around Tristana. And if they can keep Tristana's farm down, it will be beneficial.
Whoa.
That's going to land.
Flash for Amazing. This is going to be the pinch up. Lustboy's not really in the right spot, but shots from Wild Turtle could be. If he puts the ward over the wall. No, he just jumps over the wall. Wild Turtle throwing himself in the fire, and he comes out on top of that one. So headstrong. This early ward play, I was actually just placed, so that was a blind jump.
Hey, first pick Nunu. Talking about what type of pressure that puts on the player to make plays.
Yeah.
Amazing. Saw the opportunity. Knew they had the numbers advantage. As soon as he landed that slow, Crumbs was dead. At that point, it's just even more beneficial that the kill went to Wild Turtle because that is exactly what TSM wanted. It's really nice juggling there by Lustboy. We don't point it out enough. Amazing didn't take damage during that Dragon until the very last hit.
Failed.
It takes a lot of practice to juggle the aggro that well. Lustboy is good at it.
And
plus he can catch that pink ward. That is such nice timing. He's
everything
scared,
they need.
but he can get it.
They make sure to work off of the first blood, and it just so happens that they have the 3 first bloods coming out of every game so far. So TSM has been trying to make that first move. Whether or not Dignitas comes back, that's another story.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Even though it's a 1-in-1 series, Dignitas is the one initiating these lane swaps, and it's clearly TSM that is playing them better. I really wonder if Dignitas is going to keep at them for Game 4.
I feel like it definitely works in the Kiwi Kid Rome area, that department.
There's also the fact in this game that Lulu was given up, and Lulu was very strong against Maokai early on in the lane. So the lane swap was somewhat necessitated in this match more than in previous ones.
You definitely see Dyrus not having too much trouble in that top lane as he defends against 35 to 30 there in the CS. Very different timing in this bottom turret getting taken down here for TSM. They were on that instantly last game, so this pressure gets kind of drowned out that TSM created with their AD carrying bottom lane instantly. Lustboy returns back to that lane with Wild Turtle. Crumbs starting to shut down the vision. TSM fans trying to up the vote here, 72 to 28%.
Well, the early lead is again in their favor. It's going to be a lot of whether or not Shifter can make plays on Ahri. That's where the pressure is right now. If we were to get to the late game Orianna versus the late game Ahri, comparing them in a vacuum, the Ori's going to provide a lot more to the team. Yet before that point, Shifter has the opportunity to make many a play.
Just slowly envisioning Lustboy getting popped out by an Ahri. The Fox is always looking for the support. Trying to take him out in a few shots.
Especially the way Lustboy builds his supports.
Yeah.
Notice again the boots of mobility before the Sightstone, making a much squishier support.
Looks like that Deathfire Grasp will be something that Shifter tries to bring out within his build. Nice explosive shot, just kind of burning down on Zion Spartan there. Got 58 to 63 in CS. Looks like it's going to be an Infinity Edge first for these 80 carries.
Yeah, it could be. Turtle not going to opt for the static shift first. They're just looking to push off this blue buff. They have so much early game presence. They know that Braum and another man are up top lane, Lucian.
Just walking on by. Turtle not even pressured in the bottom lane. TSM making some very formidable moves here to put themselves 2K ahead. They had 5K last time in game number 2, and it didn't mean much to Dig. They still felt that they could come back, and they did for quite some time. So TSM needs to continue to pressure this. They know that. We have the wards already coming out of Sightstone in the Quilco with a pink ward. Ooh. Oh, what a Foxfire into Charm. He dodges out of the Shockwave too. Shifter doing some very nice dancing with Crumbs as his partner.
Hey, that's how it's done. Right there with Ari, dodging the right amount of skill shots, especially the Shockwave, juking back.
Gets tough once those 6s hit.
It's kind of on him now because the team itself is not doing that great at large. Getting the turret down is fantastic. Getting that kill is even better, but he needs to take that advantage to other lanes.
How much does this help Shifter out? He's got 1,200, so only needs a bit more once that needlessly large rod is built. Huge spike in damage, and then you just put the Deathfire Grasp finish on it. People are going to be hurting. He is very happy to have that. He'll stay safe in lane with his Ignite down for now. The team doesn't have to do anything crazy. See where he goes. Blue buff for him. Bjergsen tries to get back here. He's only down a few CS, so Bjergsen has had control of the lane, and that's really where Shifter was able to take it into his favor. Bjergsen felt a little too comfortable there. So good warding up now. You can see TSM is considering that Bjergsen doesn't want to get ganked anymore.
The tables have kind of turned in that mid lane matchup, if you think about it. Syndra is typically the lane bully that always goes for kills.
Yeah.
And Bjergsen was in that aggressive mindset for games 1 and 2 in the laning phase, with Shifter trying to just farm and survive on Ziggs. Now Shifter's the one trying to kill Bjergsen, and he was able to get the first real mid lane kill we've seen in this series.
That's actually a really good point. Is when Shifter plays the champions that he does have to go aggressive on, he doesn't hesitate. Usually he's sitting on the backside trying to throw in the damage, but he can make the moves. Shockwave's almost up for Bjergsen here. They may be able to use it on somewhat of an invade just below. He's getting help from Lost Boy in the mid lane, as that seems to be where they need this pressure control.
Wonder if Dignitas can somehow control the next dragon. It's up in 1 minute. They're trying to get a lot of pressure down. If they could somehow push Wild Turtle out, they would get this. Oh, there's actually a trap that Ari was trying to set for Ori, but that didn't.
Not enough sweepers.
He was standing on a ward. Yeah, exactly.
All the sweepers are down. That would have been perfect use of them.
This is actually really crazy. So TSM's going for that top lane turret right now. Even though the dragon is up in 45 seconds, maybe they're going to try and take 2 here.
Oh dear.
If they can keep the pressure up. It's all about if they can kill Zion or not. And he is a little bit isolated. There's just too much utility for him to get away.
Goes down the ulti. He's going to try to get the minions killed with the rest of his ultimate.
Get the CS!
So close. He's taking as much damage as he can to return it. Oh, wait a minute! Wait! Oh, Amazing got the wild growth. Great control on how the turret was aggroing onto TSM. Took him a while. 15 seconds on Dragon, and they're going to be able to back here, but I don't think get back in time to Dragon.
That was great by Zion Spartan.
Yeah.
He delayed them so much, and they took so much damage right there. Plus, the death timer is just somehow synced with the Dragon respawn. Dignitas gets this Dragon as well as trading turrets.
Very nicely done. Bottom lane taken. They got maybe even a little damage on the other one. They did. That bottom turret's down to a quarter, so if QtPie decides to enter into that fray one more time, he can, or they can put the pressure mid. Just go for it.
Meanwhile, TSM didn't even fell that top lane turret.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They got so low from the dive, and Zion cleared away all of the minions, so they had to wait for the next wave to push. Nunu might not even be able to get it when Zion gets back there.
Oh,
yep.
Popping the support.
Goodbye. He does have a health crystal, but that is still what happens.
Nicely done. Shifter doesn't even have a really completed item. Wow. He used the almost 1,500 gold to finish the Sork boots instead of throwing a needlessly large rod in that build.
Magic penetration can be king early game.
Yeah.
Another thing with Ari is that true damage she can do with the second half of the orb.
Right, as it comes back, yeah.
We actually saw Froggen play an Ari. He had a 6-item build with no Void Staff and cooldown moves. Not that I think that is optimal, but it's an option you can go on Ari because she does... About 20% of her damage is true damage when you look at the post-game damage charts.
Just got to be able to hit that come around on the orb.
So if you really need the utility of like a Rylai's and his Anyas like Froggen did,
right,
and he wanted a lot of ultimate cooldowns, so he started the game with cooldown boots and a Fiendish Kodak, and was just trying to ult as many times as possible. Like, it is a strategy. Shifter is going more for the one-shot, though.
I like the one-shot. I'm not
fun.
going to lie. More shock and awe. Easy and fun to see. Just a 400 gold lead here for Team Solo Mid. It means nothing to dig. Scrap change. They're still working as much as they can to get this forward vision in. Very nice set of pink wards just behind Kiwi Kid as he starts to give vision for Cutie Pie, safely taking down this turret. They've actually just approached it. It was just a little bit healthier than that. So now they're going to bide their time for a little bit longer. A great defensive wall here set up by the team as well.
Yeah, again, Dignitas has been able to equalize the game as well. That's a very important thing. They gave up that first blood, but they bounced back in a strong way. This time,
crazy,
on the back of Shifter.
Bjergsen has a blue buff. It's actually looking pretty tasty for the team. We got Braum sitting just below him. They're going to try to kill somebody here as they come for red buff. Dignitas wants to get something here. They're hungry. Usually we see teams waiting for a dragon to happen, but they are just on full force aggression.
Pink wards and sweeping are more important in this Dignitas game than it has been all series, just because Shifter needs to be able to show up where people least expect it. If they see him coming, he won't be able to get the kills.
Well, they're going to be able to definitely get this one, chat. Eyes
they saw him coming,
bearing down onto bottom lane.
But they'll get the turret most likely.
Nice sixth sense on that vision to keep themselves safe. Again, Dig pick up a turret. So they lost the top, but they've gained 2 bottom and a dragon since then, really putting things in their favor. Now the gold lead to them. Dignitas up 1 turret as well.
And how well can Wild Turtle farm? He is alone in the top lane this time with a completed Infinity Edge. When we get into these team fights, you know, we said Kog'Maw can only do so much damage. It's the same with Trist, but she can actually do more if she goes all offensive items. And he's free to do that in this game, just because of the amount of shielding and healing they're going to be able to provide him. A 6-item Tristana will be all offensive items in this game if it comes to that point. And he may be able to just shred through Zion Spartan's super tanky Maokai.
There's not much that's stopping him. He's be able to create a little split push pressure here with his Infinity Edge Trist. No shot, static shift if necessary. Looks like Dignitas pulls at least 3 members up there. They do get a pink ward out of it, so a little for their troubles. Crumbs is going to go ahead and transfer this over to Shifter. Wouldn't be surprised if they try to get another good initiation in off of Charm from him. It's only going to get harder and harder. He's going to be jumping into tidal waves once the teams get together, so initiations are going to be far and few between if they can get them.
Seems like we're back into the farming phase here, probably until the next dragon comes up. I wonder, got to check Amazing Skill Order. Always got to watch out for these quick Barons when you have a jungle Nunu in the game. And interestingly enough,
oh yeah,
he has max consume.
Dominate who max consumed that one game? Yeah.
And they can do some sneaky Baron plays with the shielding they have, if they so choose. So.
Wow. Wild Turtle really favoring critical attack on this. Leveling up that rapid fire to match his Infinity Edge burst damage. Or against DPS, I would say, with critical burst. Everybody's just milling about right now, trying to feel out Team Solo Mid, clear out the pink wards if they can. Dignitas would love to use these wards they've placed in the bottom half of the jungle, but Team Solo Mid, very risk averse right now. They're saying, you know what, if we don't need to be there, then we're not going there. Gonna go ahead and just farm the lanes as necessary. Wild Turtle still in split push fashion, somewhat giving himself a lot of CS, but he's still catching up to Cutie Pie at this point. Cutie Pie going again with the Lucidity boost for the cooldown build.
That's the Lucian build.
Yep.
Always do it now. Skills 2L, cooldown reduction, and getting those double shots. But yeah, this game again is very intense. 17 minutes in, low kill score so far, but this next dragon will be very, very important.
Yeah, it'll tell a lot.
A lot of it will have to do with whether TSM can feign interest in the dragon while taking a Baron. They have incredible Baron taking potential. It just hasn't been possible in the first 2 games because Dignitas has such a way of defending these things.
I'd say a really good amount of damage TSM could put out at a dragon fight right now. 2 Athenes, 2 a Rod of Ages that's still charging. They should be able to cut through that Maokai and have a bit more power to bring to the fight.
I see the itemization being incredibly close, though. It's just
right.
Like a Deathfire Grasp, maybe getting the right target. I'd say Turtle would be ahead in a conventional sense, but Tristana's in kind of a mid-game mini-dip in power right now, whereas Lucian is very strong at this point in the game with his Infinity Edge and cooldown boots.
Looks like he's getting that Youmu's quite soon as well, with the Brutalizer just on the horizon for himself. TSM saying, hey, look what we're doing over here. Come play. Get away from that dragon. Slowly missing on Winter's bite.
Dig is in such a strange spot right now because it would be ideal positioning to play towards Dragon, but they just lost their last ward at the Baron pit, meaning anytime TSM actually jumps into that fog of war on that side, Dignitas would have to respect a Baron play. That's why they're being so chancy with these moves back and forth.
Wild Turtle really able to just rest on not getting that attack speed right away. Thinking about it, he's got the Blood Boil to come in as well. That's going to be a very damaging Tristana. Dignitas does what they can to quickly soak up Dragon with a 2-member crew. Crumbs is actually going to be very hurt off this. He's hoping they don't have vision of that.
All right, Dignitas with good objective
Biding
control.
their time, yeah, absolutely.
Probably the one thing that's been consistent across these 3 games is Dignitas' objective control. I wonder about Zion Spartan's build and how he's going to try and progress it. He needs a lot of armor. Ninja Tabi will hopefully get him through for a time, but aside from that Negatron cloak probably turning into a Spirit Visage, everything else will need to be an armor item if he wants to withstand that late game Tristana.
Right now they're going to withstand this mid push coming in from Dignitas. Cutie Pie ready to take some shots on the turret. But a Dissonance and a Lust Boy. They're going to say no. They're going to go ahead and clear this out nice and easy. So TSM definitely realizing they're not in any moves to make a power play here. Dignitas, they may make a mistake though. So that's what TSM is really waiting on. Wards to be cleared and wards to be placed so they can get that return on investment, which is hopefully a nice shockwave into a pick.
Yeah, Shifter's hoping to get that shot over the wall.
Yeah, they have more of a pick right now than TSM does.
The tables are definitely turned as far as which team holds the initiation cards. Although TSM holds a ton of disengage cards.
So much.
The Lulu, the Nami Tidal Wave, the move speed from Orianna. Very difficult for Dignitas to actually all in a fight safely unless they can get it clean.
Yeah, it's gonna it would have to be that pick onto Lust Boy again, and then nobody can stop the rest of the initiation. The shockwave would have to be perfect. There's still the options. It's always easier to say. These guys have to perform it, especially now into the 3rd game, 2 hours into these matches. Usually the average game is what, like 35 minutes? We could have 2 games.
I mean, we saw the average time of the teams during the regular season. It was around 38 minutes apiece. This series is about 60. They're playing each other very close.
As they should be. 3 weeks of homework to do on each other, and really the ability to scrim. I was going to actually say, I wonder if these guys put themselves into a best-of-5 situation, because when you hear them scrim, it's so easy to be like, no, cancel out this game, whatever, we'll not.
Exactly.
But did they follow through?
Yeah, we heard the coaches talking before the game, actually. Skara and Loco Doco.
Yeah.
They have been scrimming best-of-5s, absolutely. That's the way they've been preparing for the games, and even simulated scrims. Like Loco Doco wouldn't talk to them during Champ Select, would not talk to them into the games. Of course, he'd coach in between games like he does here at the studio.
Definitely pays off. You got to put yourself in that situation if you want to play correctly in that situation.
Practice like you play.
That's right.
Exactly what they've been doing. Hard to simulate the pressure they've been under, though, in these last 2 games. I'm sure not many of their scrims came down to last-second base races. Uh-oh!
Oh, my word. He got nommed on. He's going down. The finalizing kill, that Ignite. Very helpful for Crumbs' red buff to take down Wild Turtle. Movement to happen from Dig.
Crumbs actually evolved his Q, his Claws second, which is one of the reasons Wild Turtle fell prey so quickly. He got that crazy amount of bonus damage from a rare isolation.
Bjergsen again going with the Void Staff after build. Orianna does have some good damages. He will be able to bring out the pen. Seems like what he's been forced into these games is he's not getting all the kills that he needs right away. Good moves by Dignitas. We'll see this one more time. That's the vision they had. The Wild Turtle didn't even want to flash as he went in, or I'm sorry, ward as he went in.
No chance.
Little motive ward down there.
Yeah, it's an unsafe place to be walking through. You can see they didn't have vision coverage. That's exactly why sweeping is so important right now. 4 sweepers, they've had them for quite some time. And pink wards in 3 inventories on Dignitas with already a few pink wards on the map. They need that vision control to do things like that.
Okay, so it is actually the static shift for Wild Turtle. He becomes a split push Tristana. They're going to leave him on the outside of the lane here. Dissonance after Dissonance on a blue buff, you're not really getting to the turret. Good clear by Bjergsen, and now they're pushing back in their favor. Wild Turtle's going to have quite a wave for his team to meet if they decide to in this top lane.
he could try as he
Coming
might
down, though.
take damage. And there's Crumbs over the wall.
Oh, what a flash by Kiwi Kid. He was definitely going down. Bjergsen does not get a kill from the Shockwave. Dignitas is somehow turning this in their favor, but here comes Wild Turtle as the new challenger approaches. He jumps in and flashes out of the fight, realizing that was quite a bad idea, but he keeps himself alive, 1 for 1.
Both normally passive mid laners go down in
So
a
hard.
fury right there. Very close fight. You could see Cutie Pie and Turtle coming in a little bit at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, that just kind of goes to show a couple things. The initiation potential from Dig right here, because they just hop on him over the wall while he was feeling safe. Great flash by Kiwi to stay alive. And then how successful a dive of Dignitas can actually be, going straight through a Nunu. Of course, Turtle comes in from the end, doesn't get hit by the charm, and then runs very quickly away from Cutie Pie once he rocket jumped on.
I'm in. No, I'm out. 3K still on Dignitas' side here. 30 seconds for that dragon.
But the Baron threat is still very real against a Nunu like this. Max consume. They don't know that he's max consume, but they might now after seeing the bite he took out of that blue buff.
Slow moves as Dignitas now tries to do the harass around Baron game. They don't have really any wards around there right now. They have the one pink, but little do they know if they try to escape, they are in full vision for Team Solo Mid to continue the fight. Clearing out the necessary forward wards before they really get those rear ones out of the way. Kiwi Kid, always being a boss, always saying, I can see two, I'm personal sentry. These are where they are.
Crumbs. I wonder if they try a flank initiation. He was on a pink ward, so he knew he wasn't spotted in that brush particularly, but he thought because of the confidence with which Lust Boy came by that they would have seen him somewhere. They did not. But they get the pink ward nonetheless.
Great wards by Dignitas. You can see a plethora just above here on Team Solo Mid, lighting them up like a Christmas tree. And Dignitas again. That forward pressure. Whoa, Cutie Pie. What is he doing? So close to the fight. Needs a nice blast. We got a teleport from the backside.
The
Coming
dragon
here.
is still up, so
Amazing.
this is a little bit dangerous. How fast can they finish it? And now will we see a fight?
Nice glacial fissure coming out. Not going to be used for Amazing's ultimate though. Nice block by Kiwi Kid with the shield. He may go down to the end though. The Unbreakable gets broken, and that's Turtle. He says King Me trying to go for the fight. A few more shots. It's going to hit. Is Turtle going to jump? No, he will not. Stays on the backside.
Dignitas spent so long on that dragon, and it's just a wall of power that TSM has on that team if Wild Turtle gets going, and he has gotten going at this point. The fear that he is going to instill on Dignitas, they have to get catches, and they cannot have 5v5 team fights like that.
No, last game it happened a little different. Lustboy grabbed a few of those early kills, but when Turtle gets them, he turns on the extra level. Going very hard here. Looks like he's going to actually be flanking the jungle by himself with a little bit of vision. He'll be able to place a ward and stay safe as the team gathers with him to help take down the blue buff. Everything's falling in their favor right now. Team Solo Mid is down in gold, but they just had a huge surge in confidence and map pressure.
And I kind of want to delve in a little bit more to why this super support Trist is so dangerous. It's not just the Trist that is getting shields. The Trist is getting amplified in damage by 3 different sources. If Lulu has picks on him, it's an extra 81 damage per hit. Nunu will be providing attack speed and move speed. And then Lustboy as well, if he puts his Tidecaller's Blessing on him, can be up to 70 plus damage per hit for 3 hits, as well as slowing. It's an incredibly dangerous thing when you stack all that together onto one cannon, basically.
Had the privilege of playing against Trist Nami lane. As soon as they put that blessing on and that static shiv procs, there goes your health.
And now you add to that a blood boil.
Yeah.
And
oh my gosh, it is so great, as you were saying. We'll see if they can get it to happen. A lot has to go on Wild Turtle, and right now he's making himself a very big target and putting himself in the front. So we'll see those shots coming out quite shortly. You can see a few good hits onto Amazing. He's not taking a whole lot of damage, which spells good things for TSM on an initiation for him to stand still during Absolute Zero channel.
They're trying to get a catch. Bjergsen
That's the ultimate.
didn't have to burn anything. Dignitas does hold the teleport advantage. Zion didn't have to use his in the last fight. But it takes a while for a Maokai to get a split push going. If he does, though, TSM would have to respond.
We see Wild Turtle heading back towards the top lane. He's got quite a wave to clear out here after the white. 28 minutes on the clock. Both teams giving each other a lot more space than last game. A lot fewer kills so far. Still a lot to go. TSM holds their mid turret, which is actually quite huge. They haven't really had to fight over their buffs whatsoever. Those have been going to Bjergsen. Good wave clear in the mid lane. It's been showing as well around the entire map control. It's just if TSM can now get another catch or Wild Turtle goes for a double kill. That's what they're looking for. They're protecting him, though. They got the shield comp and Wild Growth to do it. They're playing it as they should.
Although, if we look at TSM's history, they don't really run protect the Wild Turtle compositions.
No, they don't.
Because he's a little bit too crazy, I think, in most situations. He excels in situations where everyone is a threat, and then Turtle putting himself in dangerous positions if he gets jumped on can still be used as TSM by way of capitalizing on the rest of them, other people that are out of position.
That's true.
That's why it's very important for Bjergsen to finish his death cap, to become power of his own.
It's a gamble. Put all your power on the loose cannon and see what happens.
Pretty much.
Look at the health bars. Run away from a little Lulu.
Health bars.
So these guys keeping each other at bay in the bottom lane. We actually haven't seen too much from Zion Spartan or Dyrus coming out of this game. Previously, they were all up in the fights, helping initiate, helping teleport in afterward. But both of them can stop each other's teleports this time, so there's a bit more of them staying in each other's face for the entire time with these brawls on the other side of the map. Just vision control right now as Team Solo Mid tries to regain the ward coverage. They haven't really lost their side of the jungle yet. They're just trying to make sure Dick doesn't take any more.
Dignitas' aggression has stalled completely after that last dragon fight.
They need some picks. Shifter can't get in anywhere. They have no other way to really initiate these fights unless they can get a great Glacial Fissure from Kiwi Kid, and that's not a kind of a sneak attack. You're going to see it coming.
Turtle walking in safe places. Lust Boy is actually
where are the wards?
Amazing has been the one sweeping the dangerous spots because he's such a tanky Nunu, and Lust Boy has been the one patrolling the safer areas. Except for this. This would have been really dangerous. There we go. Let's get out of there as quickly as possible.
Dig is so much more hesitant with a Shockwave instead of a Syndra ultimate here at these Barons. They've been to Baron a lot more in the previous games than they have here.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Very early flash there by Kiwi Kid.
Couldn't he have jumped to his teammate? Maybe?
I think he already used it.
I'd say he did. He knows what he's doing. Slowly.
I respect the speed of TSM.
It can come out of nowhere.
If they catch them with no turrets to back up Dig, they can chase them for a really long distance.
Lustboy can pretty much keep up with Amazing and Turtle with that Blood Boil on his Moby boots, so they have their support immediately in those fights. Dyrus, now TSM starting to get everybody on Dig's side of the map. This could start to prove very useful for them. We get Zion Spartan to the bottom lane here, but this also means that Dig is going to have TSM bunched up. That could be a pick.
Both teleports are back up, so no more teleport advantage for Zion Spartan. Not that they were able to pull an advantage out of it. Dragon up in 3 seconds. Just going to be taken by Turtle, most likely.
He's been trying. He almost gets himself killed mostly. Then he'll get out with the help of Lustboy. Oh, all the action we've seen, this patience is killing me. They're playing so cautious, as they should, though. The next game could definitely swing a lot of momentum in either side. Yep, there we go.
Come back.
TSM's having some trouble with objectives today.
Whoa. This is real life. They're on a board. Kiwi Kid is so low right now. There's the teleport. They have to bail.
Oh, the one behind, too. They're going to see it. Oh, wow. Zion Spartan's going to have a huge initiation here. Twisted advance, locking down the absolute zero. Cutie Pie can't really get any shots off. Throws down the culling immediately. It's eating through Amazing's fur right now, but they're going to have to back off. Getting as many shots as he can while standing still. Wild Turtle answers back with a few hits of his own, but they only pepper each other, and everybody gets out alive.
Except for Bjergsen, apparently.
Oh,
he got picked off on the side.
That was fast.
It was while they were collapsing down. This is the catch they wanted. Yep. DFG Shifter.
Bye-bye.
In and out. Goodbye. But the Baron had actually taken Braum low enough that they couldn't continue it. Plus, Nunu was there as a threat. All in all, even though Shifter got a kill there, it's still an advantage for TSM. Wild Turtle's more farm, the Dragon is better global control, and the game becomes closer.
I've been waiting to see that from Shifter, however. The fact that he can still do that this game. I was hoping his damage did not fall off. It would give us a better game if it didn't. We still see Bjergsen taking some damage on that. Buys a Negatron Cloak on the back, as well as Amazing. These guys are going to get, looks like he's going for that Spectral. Get is Consume on the work. 321 to 288. Shifter again, down in farm, but up in kills. Kind of just see history repeats itself for him. He's in the right place at the right time and stays very safe in lane, just like Probably was talking about. Gets himself to this late game with a good power spike and then can start initiating for the team. Far and few between, though, was that kill. Oh, dearie. Great block on the bubble. The hits up on Kiwi Kid, calling over the wall, coming in from Cutie Pie. That was huge. Shifter gets knocked up. Does Lust Boy continue? Amazing flies over the wall with his flash. That's going to be his shield. He puts on the absolute zero. That's going to give an assist over to Wild Turtle. A kill, rather. Another one coming in for the double kill on Tristana. 6-1-0. If it's not Bjergsen, it's the Turtle.
And look at that. Turtle's the guy who got caught by Ari. That's the power after all those shields came on, plus the Bloodthirster healing and Nami.
Yep.
They're going for this Baron. TSM is rolling right now.
Beautiful job. Clean take on that one, and the aggression really proving useful. Dignitas was not able to collapse on Wild Turtle hopping into the fight. Baron very close to being taken out here.
Oh my
God! Crumbs gets it! Crumbs gets hit out. Clockwork windup actually takes him out. The passive from Bjergsen, but they are going to be out with smiles ear to ear on this one. They should be able to hold down the turret. Zion Spartan may not have the same result. He goes down. The turret as well. Just too much brute force. They don't need the minions.
I do not agree with Zion Spartan's item choices whatsoever. He's got a second Spectre's Cowl like he's going towards a Banshee's build. Yes, he's against a double AP and Orion and Lulu, but it is absolutely the Tristana that he has to be itemizing for. And he got obliterated there as Turtle trained him down.
Maybe relying a little too much on the ultimate for when it's up to mitigate that damage, but like you said, tearing right through him, just too much.
Although Dignitas did steal the Baron, of all things. It's about a mini base race right here, which they cannot win. They gotta get back.
Yep, 35 minutes in, that mid turret finally drops, but TSM trying to really rebuttal what just happened. Takes out a few turrets of their own to get a bit of influx in gold, and even with that Baron, they're down 8,000 gold right now. 9-5 and 5-5 in turrets here at Game 3 in our quarterfinals. What a matchup to start the weekend. Cutie Pie is gonna go ahead and get some exit resources for himself. Just see this one more time. Beating out a Consume
He got shot out too.
Smite. Nunu, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's rather lucky as well. You basically just go in while the Baron is about to get spiked down in damage, because what teams do nowadays with Baron, since Smite, there's so many abilities that can outdamage Smite. Obviously, Amazing can consume Smite for 2,000. They're going to try and burst it before that.
Yeah.
They're going to try and burst it to like 3,000 to use all their spells. Crumbs just jumps in at that moment, uses everything he can, and just hopes he gets it. So he had like a 1 in 4 chance probably of getting that one, maybe even less.
Let's see, it's only on a few more. I believe they got out with everybody on it still, right? Oh, they lost
Crumbs
Maokai,
died,
that's right.
And then Maokai died. So they have Baron.
So Crumbs
and Zion
did die on the way out.
I think was he, sorry, Shifter was dead while they got it.
Right.
So it's actually just on the one person. I think Cutie Pie is the only guy with Baron.
What chaos.
Yeah.
So he'll have a bit of regen to his name. That'll help. Looks like we're going to get a Bloodthirster out of him next, actually, to match the shield that Wild Turtle has. But he's not going to get the sustain that Wild Turtle has on that backside. Dignitas, they got to be careful how much they focus on this. They only have a little bit of vision on what's on the other side of the wall. They're using quite a bit. He lives through Wild Growth. That's the shield composition coming into play with the utility. But TSM used a lot there, as well as Dig, just to fight each other for that quick one off. Nobody gets anything. Looks like they're going to hover around some vision for Dragon here. But that means these waves aren't going to get pushed. A little bit of a stalemate.
This will be a hard game for Dignitas to win.
Yeah.
Just based on the gold distribution for TSM, it's kind of exactly where they want it to be. Plus the itemization that Bjergsen has actually been able to put together. Both of their APs, honestly, they have the core 3 items that they really needed, which is kind of why Zion Spartan was building all that magic resist, because the AP Lulu and the AP Ori, they hurt.
Yeah.
Feels makes it all the more difficult to deal with Trist.
That Warden's Mail is going to be enough. Yeah. What do you mitigate first? The thing that's going to blow you up, or the extended fight that's going to kill you? Because you don't know who you're going to be facing immediately in the fight. Makes it very difficult. Things have to be planned perfectly. Right now, Dignitas has a flank team that they really need to get into position for some picks on, but it's going to be tough. Nami hitting great waves as well as the shock waves coming in from Bjergsen. They haven't been hitting, but Bjergsen's ball movement really countering the movements of Dig and making him think twice. A lot of dissonance has just pushed off the Baron attempt. 60K ticks up on both sides. Quite a game here. Looks like we're going for another 50-60 minute.
Yeah, we could be on that path, but if Wild Turtle gets one good fight, or the rest of TSM gets one good fight, because they have so much move speed coming from Lulu, Nunu, Nami, Ori, they will be able to run down the rest of Dig. Or if Dignitas over tunnels on killing Wild Turtle, we got to watch out about the shockwave from Bjergsen.
Just trying to see what Wild Turtle's doing, getting all that attack speed from the Blood Boil. He's at 1.9 attacks per second right now, and that's not even using rapid fire, so it's gonna be kind of crazy once he gets locked down and loaded. Red buff on him as well, with the longest range in the game at this point with his passive at level 18. See if he can thread the needle and get anybody stuck up for the shots. There we go, putting damage down.
He gets max attack speed for sure when he uses rapid fire. So it's not worth it for him to buy another attack speed item.
No.
He's probably going to turn that QSS into Mercurial Scimitar,
Yep.
which will be an offensive item with some defensive purposes like the MR to make the shields more effective.
Really helps as well to get as dangerous as he does. He's been hopping into the fights. He'll have Lust Boy's Mikhail's Crucible as well. And Lust Boy, that Talisman of Ascension, still sticking true in the game to help the team in or out of any of the engages. These three sticking together, the ones that can provide shields and the heals. It's a good little party they have. See what DSM, or rather Dignitas, tries to dictate in this mid push. They're getting the side wards, they're getting the ability to flank here. TSM does not have coverage on where Dig is coming from right now. They're just on that left side of the map.
I feel like Dig is just kind of biding time until the next Baron. They need to make sure the waves are in the right place and that they don't have any threat on their inhibitors. This is a bad space to be in, though. TSM just out-rotated them really hard.
Yeah, they did.
They might not be able to get back in time to defend this one.
They are leagues ahead of Dignitas right now. That's the 2.5 attacks per second coming out of Wild Turtle with the rest of the team, and there's no way your structure's staying up on that one. Glacial Fissure comes out. Do they finish this one?
Maokai teleported in for this.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yet did not teleport into a flank position, so he could just watch with Kiwi Kid as TSM runs away.
That's such a win for them.
Turret for nothing. Actually, turret and a teleport.
Right. Ooh. The hop explosive shot. He's not giving up. That glitter lance as well with the extra damage that they can continuously add on. Wild Turtle being a menace, and he is not afraid to keep jumping in. The Quicksilver Sash is still ready to be used. Alacrity boots along with Blood Boil giving him movement speed.
And it looks like TSM can walk in here and do the same thing, trying to go for this inhibitor. Dignitas wants to land a flank attack. Kiwi Kid is just back in base with no ultimate. I mean, Shifter is in a kind of smart place. It's their only chance, but I don't think he can make the right approach.
Shifter's been seen. Even if he jumps in, Wild Turtle can jump and rocket shot him, or buster shot rather, away from the fight. So the initiations are so tough. Dignitas gritting their teeth, but they're about to lose this top turret. Too hard to guard.
Yeah, TSM is definitely respecting the positioning of Shifter, so if Shifter can get behind them, they're not willing to extend themselves. But if it's just a 5-man wall and they can keep Nunu in front of everything else, they're completely fine just pushing this down.
Team Solo Mid seems to finally be
so
back in their wheelhouse. They have a lot of minions here. Such a good spread from TSM. Instantly, Talisman of Ascension puts them right where they want to be.
You can just see the speed on that team. Obviously, Talisman is down now, so it's a little bit less if they wanted to go again. But they did get so much damage on that turret.
They still have Nami ultimate if they want. They're working.
Shifter is unfortunately on a ward.
Yeah, he's hatching that baby. Nothing to come out. Ardent Blaze did hit a few, but there's no reason to proc its passive. Continue the fight for Lucian, while Cutie Pie rather stays safe on the backside. AD carries up around 450 CS, almost finalizing all of their items here. Looks like it's going to be a last whisper for Cutie Pie, and that finished up Imperial Scimitar for Turtle. Just only a matter of time now. 45 minutes. These guys are actually acting quite quick.
Very tense games. Very, very tense game. I like how we've had some very different strategies in these 3 games, whether it was the split push composition versus just 2 kind of stall teamfight compositions in the last game, versus now, which is very much a protect the carry. Evolve Kha'Zix kills that very quickly.
Oh, man.
But they do have to be cautious.
Cutie Pie dashes Wow, they actually pull right off of it. No Baron to be had here. TSM amazing, getting the wild growth, but he's gonna have to go back in. Who's focusing on the blue buff? That actually goes.
Oh my God, one shot.
Kiwi Kid getting hit up. That's Kiwi Pie. Kiwi Kid is very, very low, but he gets up to the backside of the fight. Crom's very low as well. Turtle is wreaking havoc. Can he get the range? One more shot, he flashes, it hits. No red buff to slow on the fight. And it looks like everybody gets out, but Dig is limping away from this one.
Yeah.
Baron for TSM.
It's like a death ball running around for TSM right now. Everyone who goes close just starts withering away.
Oh my God, he's stopping Baron. Zion
For now.
Single-handedly. That's 60 seconds. Crumbs may be able to get back on this one. TSM's actually going to not do Baron. They're going to go for the inhibitor. If they can get back and guard this overall, that was huge from Zion Spartan.
They have so much respect for the Ahri ult in that case because it seemed like the Baron was theirs to
Oh.
They did have to go back to save that inhibitor turret. They saw the huge wave. So Dyrus there. He has his teleport up. He can still come help and join. TSM low on mana. See what happens.
It's definitely going to be the inhib. Too much pressure from Wild Turtle and the rest of the team, and they're disengaged for them to even stop Tristana from taking that down. Crumbs. Yeah, he felt it. Good thing you had some wards to keep him safe. He's just trying to get back as soon as possible and cut corners, and almost got caught for it. So TSM taking down the inhib. First one of the game gets dropped finally. 44 minutes in. TSM were able to make the first impact last time. Let's see what happens again for the win.
After watching that last fight, you can see what a difficult situation Dignitas is in. They have no way of reaching Wild Turtle. And even if they do, they probably don't have the damage to kill him because he's killing them back so fast.
He's full item. Same record as Bjergsen had last game now at 8-1-1. He just needs one more assist. And he'll score pretty much the exact same thing. Huge wave in the top lane. You can see this can't even be utilized right now by Dignitas. They're forced to kind of watch situations like that go to the wayside because of the pressure that they're lacking at this moment. Dyrus was just in the bottom lane, so he's cleaning up all these waves quite easily without even having trouble for the team.
Ward's right there. They're just thinking they can rush it down.
It's worked for him every time, Jat. Can history repeat itself one more time? There's going to be no Amazing to smite this one out. They have lost members consecutively after the...
They get Dyrus too!
They got Dyrus before the team can react.
That's huge!
Oh my God, Amazing's going to go down as well. They can't help him. It's going to be Lustboy in the eyes next. Zion Spartan stays with Maelstrom up, and that mitigates so much damage. A long-range culling, trying to hit the max side of those bullets. How did Dig not lose Zion and get the Baron? 45 minutes in.
TSM broke from their formation. They try and pile in one at a time so they couldn't stick together and utilize the combined shielding that they have, which meant Dyrus died in the duration of his charm to Shifter. And then Amazing didn't have the shielding, and also, since there was no help picks on Wild Turtle, about 100 damage a hit was lost from Trist even if he did approach, which means Dignitas can keep this game close.
Absolutely incredible. Crumbs making calls, helping his team get 9 Barons. All 9 Barons in this series so far. Let's see this one once again.
Yeah, well, they blocked the tidal wave as well with that shield, which is pretty big. And then because Dyrus was gone, Lulu is kind of the biggest utility bringer to that team.
Yeah.
They can then kill the Nunu because there is no supercharged Trist in the back.
Ridiculous. Crumbs also going full bore on his damage build. Picks up a Vision Ward there. That's all the utility he wants to bring to the table right now. The Black Cleaver finished up now quite some time, helping to shred things down, and he has been doing so. Small catches here and there on TSM has not allowed them to push forward. They've only been able to work this open inhibitor, but that's something they gave themselves 10, 15 minutes ago. They haven't really been able to push past that. So TSM needs to find a different way through the front door.
Yeah, and Dignitas, throughout this whole series, has been putting on a clinic on how to manage Baron from the red side of the map. They have been all over it and just done it exactly right pretty much every time. It's what has been keeping them in this series.
You mentioned it before. For a team that would lose at Baron to now have all 9 in a series, that's kind of a ridiculous.
I think they lost 1 Baron near the end of game 2 when they were really far behind. I believe TSM took them, but I could be completely wrong on that.
75.2 to 73,000 here. Somehow they're still in the lead. TSM has given themselves, as we can see, a very good early game. And now they're trying to work out the mistakes that happened.
It's all about sticking together here for TSM. There's very little AoE on Dignitas. So as long as they group up, they should win.
Banshee's Veil's being popped left and right by the spikes of Crumbs. He's He's on the backside. He wants to come in late and get that initiation if anything actually happens to the team, or he can find Wild Turtle. It's not going to be easy, though. We also haven't even seen Shifter going in for any more engages. He's 6-2-0, but they've, as we've been saying, so far and few between. Almost forget about him. Nobody else.
It's another 48-minute game with a 2,000 gold lead.
Nuh-uh.
It's so close. And yeah, Shifter hasn't been able to find that many opportunities.
Oh, the Lich Bane.
When he does, he'll blow someone up.
Remember what happened with the Lich Bane?
TSM does. Against Shifter back when Shifter was on Coast.
Yep.
Killed the Nexus.
Hey, we've had it twice already. 2 down to the next games on one side with one person taking it out. Can happen again. Finally, Dignitas finds himself on TSM's side, able to use this Baron in their favor here. 1,059 is the damage on those crits that are coming out of the hands of QuarterFinals. Nobody from TSM wants to be eating any of those. And now they have their own death ball moving around in the jungle here.
The Baron buff definitely makes them more formidable.
Yeah.
But it doesn't give them any armor or MR against Wild Turtle's Tryst. It will give them regen, but they'll kill them so fast if they get caught in the wrong spot.
I feel like Kiwi Kid just wants to flash in and Glacial Fisher everybody under the turret.
They could hope to kill one of the supports before they can get their cooldowns out. It's all about breaking the Banshee's veils, which they've kind of done here. Both Lulu and Ori had their Banshees broken. Nice sapling and void spikes.
So Amazing knows he has to be the personal ward for the team now. He actually can't move from that position unless he's getting attacked. But it's not going to be easy. They are getting super pinched here. And TSM's going to say, concede.
Shifter's hoping to catch someone that goes too close to the wall. That's why TSM was so far back.
There's the Youmu's going off from QuarterFinals.
He doesn't do that much. It's so difficult to get into this TSM base. They would need one more round of that, and I don't think they'll get the chance.
Ooh.
They're caught.
Great slow. That was a huge slow on Amazing that he couldn't get in range for another blast. Stops the fight altogether, but Dignitas also get pretty much nothing out of that. They get pushed back once again. TSM finds another way and a little more time to get back to Dig's base.
All right, then. This game will keep going and going.
10 more minutes. It can't end yet.
No, it's got to be at least an hour.
Gotta be assisting.
And it's not like these games are intentionally slow or anything. These teams are just so close right now. Dignitas' control of Baron has really been what keeps them in all of these games. Because I'm thinking, they haven't really been able to win team fights. Whether it was game 1 because they did the split push, game 2 because they could get kited all day, and game 3 because they're a pick composition, then TSM has a superior team.
Right.
So they're really having to manufacture these long games.
Yeah, they've been simple picks.
Just to have chances of getting wins.
You can see that with it being all on Ahri. Shifter's only going to get those with picks. The entire team is going to help pick those up if they're there to do so.
We need a better word for picks. But it's what it is. It's just finding someone out of position and bursting them down before the team can support.
Erickson and the rest of the team trying to make Dig beat their drum here as they move up mid lane. There's the Banshee's Veil. Or not Banshee's Veil, rather. A bit of the shield knocked off, I should say, onto Wild Turtle.
This defense is all going to be about the flanking position of Shifter because TSM is so strong as a group of 5.
Yep.
Shifter would have to get in behind them. That's why that warding is there, and that's why TSM is cheating over to the right there. Shifter can't actually make a safe approach.
Oh, Amazing getting hit up, so is Zion Spartan. Kiwi Kid throwing out the Fisher. Looks like he could have held that. Actually, Kiwi Kid goes down. That means the inhibitor will as well. Not a good time for Dignitas, for TSM
2
to have
shots
power
on
play
Grump
here.
that takes him to half as well. The approach may not be possible right now.
They don't have the minions.
For Dig. They may just try and shield this up and take it, or they actually going for Nexus turrets.
Wild
They're
Turtle's
looking confident.
huge right now. He should be able to crush these down. A great culling had to be used by QuarterFinals, giving a little bit of breathing room here to Dignitas, who more or less has just gotten strangled out in the past few minutes. A 4,000 gold lead quickly in favor of Team Solo Mid.
Yeah. Now with Baron up, I don't see TSM letting Dignitas sneak it again. This guy's going down fast. No Kiwi Kid, so it would be a 4v5 if Dignitas wants it. We've had a steal and a take by Crumbs. So TSM is respecting that, actually. They're hoping for a 5v4 fight, and they may have found one.
Good bit of what they can cope with. Dodged
That
out
was
on
so
the
fast.
Oh my word, one more, he's done. He's done. There goes Crumbs. Crumbs is done as well. That's gonna be another shot coming in. Wild Turtle gets a double kill on that. He's gonna be looking for 3 possibly, but they got eyes on the structures, Jat. This could just be game 3.
70-second death timers on the jungler and the AD carry. It seems like the death ball has finally found its prey.
Yeah.
And this is TSM taking a 2-1 lead.
What a back and forth game. Dignitas again puts up a huge fight one time after another at Baron. It's going to be a few more kills here to end out the game. Shifter goes down immediately. That's the shockwave Kiwi Kid's been dodging all game, and it's just going to be way too much chaos here in the late game. Team Solo Mid come out on top at 53 minutes. They're going to go ahead and take down the Nexus. We're going to game 4, 2 for TSM.
This one was the fastest of the bunch at 54 minutes. Crazy to say. TSM breaks in a new strategy here. That was very much protect the Tryst, and they made it work very, very well. The one tweak that TSM made in pick ban strategy really paid off. They threw in the Ziggs ban to stop Shifter from being able to stall with wave clear. They dropped the Lulu ban, which then they were able to pick up themselves, and that enabled them to pick the Tryst and build that entire composition
The
around.
Ziggs ban is